We are getting started.
Ooh, guys, Wednesday.
Woo! Our favorite evening or day. Actually, we're recording a little early, but welcome to Two Queens and Crystal Things, the podcast where we are on some manifest your life, shift your mind,
Come on, y'all,
and raise the consciousness type of shit.
This shit is real.
For real, for real. I am Christie.
And I am Mia. And you can consider us your spiritual girlfriends for the next hour. Hey, boos. Hey, queens. Hey, kings. Okay, real quick, last week, we talked about that hashtag main character energy.
Mm-hmm.
So recapping, the idea behind, the main character energy is that consider viewing your life as a story, a book, a film, whatever. Mm-hmm. And you are essentially the main character. So, and a lot of people were making fun of this, and it was used ironically in social media. Mm-hmm. But the idea of being the main character in your life, where you are literally writing your story, is actually manifestation magic, you guys. So if you haven't listened to that, I encourage you to do so. Where it's time to write our own stories. You guys get into your main character, okay? Remember, energy attracts like energy. So whatever it is that you're creating, you are bringing to you as soon as you put it out there in the universe. So what we're talking about today.
That is correct. So wait, okay, so before we get into today's topic, I will have to say that the main character episode actually helped me too. Because there was this time, was it last week when we were at the gym? Or maybe I think it was last week, and we had to run, and man, I was tired. I was tired.
I was tired.
And I'm looking at other people running faster than me, and I'm starting to judge myself. And I'm like, no, screw them. I am the main character of my own story, so I'm going to focus on my own race.
Girl, wait, first of all, I have to side note on this show. So it's kind of actually funny. Christy makes fun of me. So when we have to run, like literally it's like around the block or something.
No, I don't make fun of you. I get it.
She does. No, she does. They judge me because like literally All-American track girl. I don't know how to jog. I know how to get.
It's painful, and I get it.
It's painful as hell for me to jog like on concrete. I don't know how people run miles and miles and miles on concrete. It literally shoots up through I don't know what form to take. I need a finish line. I like to see. When I'm on the track, you see where you're going. So I'm laughing at her because Chrissy's judging herself when she's like the first 3 people done, and my All-American old track girl ass is like, yeah, I run the straightaways and walk the curves. And Christy's like, huh? I'm like, yeah, I made the block a track in my head. Because I just need to sprint, boom, then I'm going to walk this and then sprint again. While they're just, flying.
Bing, bang, boom.
Right, bing, bang, boom. And she's judging herself because one person's in front of her. Girl, bye.
2 or 3. But I just remember, and I was feeling bad about myself. I'm like, no, think about the main character energy.
Yes.
Okay, so today's episode, no, I'm the one that got off tangent, but you guys know how we roll. But let's talk about this wine from Galena real quick. I'm sorry. That's good.
That's delicious.
It's really good. Okay, so today's episode, we are talking about spiritual parasites. I mean, it is what it is. So if you...
I'm ready for this.
I mean, you all know a parasite is an organism that uses another organism, which is also considered or known as a host, for its life source. And, I mean, honestly, it sounds like a moocher to me. You're just mooching off of me.
Oh, my God.
It's like, you just gonna mooch? They don't use that term anymore.
Oh, my goodness. I used to say some ignorant shit. I was thinking of remora. The little fish that follow sharks around and all the shit that they can, that just flies away.
She wants to bring all this marine biology type shit.
I know dumb shit, yeah. But I remember I called this girl. I was like, you just a fucking remora.
And she was probably confused, and the word probably sounded...
Oh, my God. What is wrong with me? Okay. Y'all, hey.
A leech,
don't judge
moocher.
Me. A leech, a moocher. But, yes, that's exactly how I see it.
So the concept of a spiritual...
Draining you.
Very draining. So the concept of a spiritual parasite, that concept's been coming up quite a bit with my clients because I'm noticing that I've been getting or attracting a lot of empaths, which most people who are intuitive are. But one of the things that have come up for them is like protection. You're picking up other people's energy that doesn't belong to you. You have to be careful with that. So I was teaching about protection. And so honestly, this topic, I think, is very timely. And I think also oftentimes we unknowingly pick up energy from other people, other sources, and we have no idea where it came from. You're around someone who has a stank attitude, and you come home and now you have a stank attitude, and now you're around your kids and now your kid has a stank attitude. And it's just one of those domino effects. And so you really want to be mindful of not only the energy that you're keeping, but the energy that you're taking in. And parasites, they continually will feed off their host's essence until their host is no longer a viable source. So basically they will suck you dry. So
literally.
Literally. So Mia, what are your thoughts on spiritual parasites?
Well, I'll say this. I think that like when you're talking about how you go, just, being mindful of other people's energy and how you accept it. The difference is, I think, with spiritual parasites and when you just take on somebody else's energy, like it's like you'll pass on energy will just keep passing on, but a parasite is literally sucking the life force out of you and taking over your will. So a lot of people call them demons.
Yeah.
They feed on your lust. They feed on depression. They feed on your anxiety. And I mean, it's a very low vibrational attraction.
Low vibrational, yeah.
These type of things are our life sources. Is their life source, a spiritual parasite of life source. So think about this. Even though we're talking about spiritually, think about people who thrive off of chaos or drama. It's the same type of thing. Like it's their life source. They like some good juicy gossip, seeing somebody getting taken down, like canceled. That. I mean, they get so excited about that. That it's the same type of energy, but it's literally living energy.
Otherwise, they start feeling like, okay, I need to fuck something up.
So I need to I remember, in one of the Batman movies, Alfred said to Batman, I don't remember actors' names. Y'all know one of them. But anyway, he said some people just like to see the world burn, and for some reason that just stuck in my head because it just hit me because it would hurt me when I couldn't make people see or understand why what they were doing was hurting some people. And you're like, when you give them all the evidence, and it resonated with me so much in my life right at that moment. It's like, oh shit, okay, my bad, I get it. Some people just like that. Some people are just like that. So it's the same thing, but it's something happening inside of you that you've allowed into your body and that you have ignored, and is allowing it to take over. So think about the types of food. So a lot of, for instance, I'm not vegetarian, or obviously I'm not vegan either. But I'm just saying. I'm just saying this because so I don't necessarily eat a lot of meat, but I do eat meat. But I'm it started getting important to me to I need cage free. So I get my eggs from there's this little bodega down the street from me, and they get all of the vegetables from local farms. So all the farms are within 100 miles of where I am. So and they're cage-free, open, organic farms. I'm like, okay, cool, because it just makes me feel like if I'm taking in if I'm eating some chicken or if I'm eating some eggs from an animal that's been stressed out, what do I think I'm putting into my body that's going to affect how it is that my body digests it? Or what am I putting into my body that's going to determine how it is that I'm acting? The music, same thing. And I love me, I swear, some of the songs that got the best little beats, they're straight demonic, but hey, do you. Yep. And the environment. Where you allow, especially in any environment where you are allowing yourself to be free and vulnerable. When you're just like, oh, I'm ready to let loose. It's almost like you just open your chakras. You come in let's do this. So be mindful of the type of environments where you allow yourself to be very free. If you're in a low vibrational state, then your body's out of balance. So once a parasite attaches to you, it releases this, think of it, it's like a numbing agent, and we're saying this, and I know people are trying to visualize it, but energetically and in spirit, okay?
Yeah.
And so,
This is how it happens,
it basically
like, in
covers
nature.
you, puts like a veil over your eyes and hides so that you don't know that it's basically taking energy from you.
Mm-hmm.
It's suckling off of you. And this allows it to just be there, totally undetected. You don't know what the hell going on and drain you. So this numbing agent that we're talking, it'd be anything to distract you from what is actually going on. Damn, I just talked about this today too. Anything that prevents you from discovering the true intentions of your relationship. Now, this is a word for y'all.
Government.
Sorry. Christy about to have missiles coming through the window. No, seriously, them too. But even in relationship, we can be in whole relationships with people and we do not know the true intentions of the person that we are in a relationship with. And when I say that spiritual parasite can be a physical parasite, but anyway, okay. But seriously, that's a real thing. So anything that is preventing you from seeing their true nature, their true intention, could be a parasite. And even a lot of times this person who has even been possessed by a parasitic entity may not even be aware that they are serving as a host, because like I said earlier, it takes away your will.
Yep.
It takes over your will and your desires. So you could be serving as a host and carrying out their energy, don't even know it.
So I guess the one thing I really want to know with this is you still have to give it permission, right?
Well, I think that sometimes in the act that you take in the parasite, that's the permission. So,
okay.
Sexually,
yeah,
you know what you're dealing with, because that's the thing, you guys, and the trusting yourself has been a big thing this week with clients. It was just like, we gotta stop. We know, like I feel like I've been talking about this for 2 weeks. Tapping into your intuition, trusting yourself. It's been such a big thing. Spirit has been reminding people, you know what the fuck you know. Stop playing. Stop playing with me. Your spiritual energy is like, stop playing with me. Like, how many times we got to do this? We know what we know. So sometimes when we're around people's energy, we know good and damn well this is not. I can feel you, but it's something about me that wants me to experience you anyway. That's the permission. Yeah. The food, like when we're not paying attention to, like, my appetite has changed so much in terms of what, like, I can't even. I know this sounds so terrible. I'm from the south side of Chicago. Like, I apologize. Anybody from Chicago, I cannot eat Harold's chicken anymore.
I don't think I've ever had it.
You lived in the suburbs. No, but but let me tell you, I used to tear some Harold's.
Really?
Uppity.
I've never had it.
Girl, like, there's whole discussions and debates about which hair. I know. And I was about to say, there's no discussion in any discussion and debate when people are talking about what's the best Harold's is the Oak Park Harold's.
Oh, really?
No, it is not in the discussion.
A guy that I went to school with, he owns that one, or his family did.
I mean, it's a nice franchise to have, but the point is, I can't eat it anymore just because I've noticed that when you're much more aware and keen of your, keen to what's going on in your body, and you allow yourself to feel what you feel, I start noticing that after I eat certain things, how low vibrational I feel. Nothing else has changed besides what I put. And so when I literally, and I remember when I'm saying, like, you know what, I want to know what affects me and what's not, because you can feel certain things.
That's
and then
cool. Some people
you glaze over, and at the end of the day, you're like, I feel weird. Damn, was it the meeting? Was it the and so when I realized, like, as soon as I realized how low vibration I felt afterwards, I didn't even like the taste anymore.
Really?
Nope, I can't. I literally just can't eat it. It's not like I'm like, oh my god, it's disgusting. It's like I don't like the taste anymore because I allowed myself to be aware enough to see how I felt about that. And that's one of those things, and especially when you're growing in your spirituality and knowing yourself. Once you know something, you can't unknow it. I can't make Harold's taste good to me. It's fucked up because I really liked Harold's chicken. But it's gone, and I can't go back. That's it. I mean, there would never have been a time when I told you I was like, I don't like Harold's chicken. It's just who we are. I mean, it's just a part of, I can't make it taste good anymore.
And that's
the
interesting.
smell, the sauce used to be like,
Yeah.
ooh.
What's interesting because I've heard a lot of people talking about, when they start their spiritual journey, how, their taste for certain foods change and shift. And, there's one aspect of the spirituality community that believes you shouldn't have any meat or shouldn't eat any animals. And then there's another aspect of the community that's just like, oh, well, allow spirit to tell you what nourishment you need in your body. Allow your intuition to guide you. Whatever works for you. There is no hard and true whole, anything in black and white. Whatever works for you is what works for you.
And this is the part where I honestly think that, sometimes as spiritualists or, people who are in the spiritual community in terms of being a teacher or a leader, or, providing some service to the collective, where a lot of times we may differ, I think it can be solved with, because like you said, some people think, oh, you should be, you shouldn't eat any animals. Some people like, you do need animal spirit, whatever it is. I think the real thing is, you guys, stop looking to any type of, because once you break away from the idea of like a religion, just in terms of telling you what you eat, what time to eat it, and blah blah, like, because it's like they take everything away, take any decision making away from you, so you get further away from knowing who the fuck you are. So,
can you say that again?
I'm telling, when you do what people tell you to do, they take you further away from knowing who the fuck you are, because they're taking your decision making processes away from you.
Yes.
There is no fail. Like, try this. Like, oop, I don't like that. That doesn't feel good. So we take all that away. So that's why once I allow myself to be like, do I really like this? It's just like I said, I'm from Chicago. We eat Harold's chicken. What are we talking about? But then when I was like, actually, I need to know what's affecting me and how it's affecting me. And it's like, oh, I don't like this. My body legit does not even like this shit. Okay, but when we allow ourselves to we might get lazy spiritually and energetically. Life is hard. And so it's like, shit, if somebody's telling me how to do it and what to do, okay, I'm in. Let me take, because then it's almost like it's presented as like I'm lifting a burden off of you. But I'm taking away your power and you're giving it to me. And so now I'm going to continue. Then once you let a motherfucker in, a parasite into your body, now it's, okay, this is what you should be thinking. And then this is who you should be procreating with. And this is who you should be meeting. And this is how you should be dressing. And this is what's beautiful. And then once we get all this shit in our head, and then when we don't fit any of these things that we have been taught from womb as to what we should or should not be, we feel like we're depressed.
Religion.
Fucking religion. So spirituality,
spiritual parasites can be.
That's some real shit. But when we're talking about spirituality, and Christie and I are talking about this, what we're saying is allowing yourself to experience God in the way that works for you, with the understanding that at any moment and any time you evolve and you change. Let me tell you something. A year ago, the way that I saw God is completely different than the way I see God today. Now, do I look back at my old self and be like, you stupid person? Absolutely not. It's just that's where I was in my understanding. And when we try to push people past where their comfort zone is, past their understanding, we're basically trying to tell them to take away their identity, and that's why people act the way that they do. They don't want that bullshit. So if you're truly a spiritual person, you want people to shift their mind. All we are here to do is give you a safe space for that shift. I'm not telling you how you need to do your shit, or what you need to believe, or what I'm telling you is, hey, if this is the space that you're in, come on, we got to come be in this space with us, because we're here too, and we can do this together. Whenever that space shifts and changes, and people should have free will to shift and change accordingly. That doesn't mean anything's wrong with them. But spiritual parasites, they want you in a certain space and time and area that don't move from here, because they can feed off of your energy and they get to grow. Meanwhile, you are spiritually fucking dead and don't even goddamn know it. And we wake up, and so when people ask me what I do, it's like I am a reader, but really what I am is I'll wake people the fuck up to their I am energy, and let's get rid of these spiritual parasites and keep it pimping, and grow and love and really love ourselves. If we loved ourselves and knew really who the fuck we were, The shit that we allow in our life, how? What are we even talking about? Sorry, I went off on a tangent, y'all.
No,
It gets
good.
like that, though. It's like this, because this shit is very real. It comes in so many forms and ways.
Because I didn't think about religion being a parasite, but the way that you were describing, I was like, wow, that is religion right then in there. That's it.
And again, anything that is set to control your mind or take away from you how you should interact with
Education.
what's already in you. How you gonna tell me how to interact with God in me? The hell out of here. But that's what we do, right? That's what you have to do. And in order to tell somebody, hey, let me tell you how to act, and behave with the God that's in you, I have to make you believe that God's not in you.
Yeah.
So the only way you can talk to God is tell you it's over here. Oh, but it's like you got to go down the yellow brick road. We ain't motherfucking Dorothy and Toto coming down the yellow brick road to God. And remember at the end of the goddamn movie, she could have been home the whole goddamn time. God damn it, the Wizard of Oz is about finding God. Wait a goddamn minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. Are you fucking kidding me? I need to go back and think about that. Okay. And the whole damn time the answers were with her.
Yeah.
But see, the only difference there is you don't need no goddamn shiny ass shoes. You don't need no lubes.
Nope.
Or whatever. You don't need them new fresh Jordan 1s. I need some new shoes. Somebody's like, what you gonna get? I'm like, some 1s or some 1s. Some Air Max 1s or some Jordan 1s. That's about or some Stan Smith Adidas.
I am all about the sneakers now. Woo.
I'm still a heel girl. I'm a heel girl, but I am more open to sneakers. But I'm so old school. Like I like Jordan 1s. I'll let y'all get a little okay with the colors. Air Max 1s, the first Air Max, hottest shit ever made. The remixes of them are so dope. I like the Adidas Stan Smiths, and that's basically the fuck it. When it comes to the sneakers, I'm super, but I do some Jordan 1s. I don't really like any other ones.
Okay, so before we hop into... No, it's cool. So before we hop into the topics, I think it's really important for our listeners to understand like how to spiritually protect themselves.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
So how do you direct people to protect themselves spiritually?
So, okay. We always talk about the spiritual bubble. Mm-hmm. So I
live in my bubble.
Yes, and spiritually, a spiritual bubble, and also understanding. So what I do is, especially when I know that I'm going to be in a space where there's going to be a lot of low vibrational energy, I will literally. I mean, aside from taking my gummies, I kid.
No, she doesn't.
No, she doesn't. I asked Archangel Michael to join me in putting a protection bubble around me that not allowing any low vibrational energies that want to attach to me off of me. And I think there's not allowing them in my sphere, allowing me to be my full I am space to feel and engage with this world without anything attaching to me. And then even if I forget, my home is protected. You come through my threshold. I got the black tourmaline and the selenite above the doorway, repelling that negative shit and bringing light in your life. So there's that. And I sage myself, I Palo Santo myself, and I take my selenite wand. I clear off my energies all the time. So even if I don't forget to do it, I'm so diligent about it. And also because now I'm at the point where I can feel something's not. I'm like, this don't belong to me. I don't know what this is. You got to go, friend.
Bye-bye.
And out. But honestly, I think for most people who are just starting that, if just literally before, just imagining, seeing it in your mind's eye, just a bubble of protection from Archangel, calling Archangel Michael, like, hey, send your homies down here. I need. It's basically like you called your spiritual gang. You literally called your spiritual gang like, hey, I'm about to go in. The spot is kind of hot. I'm sure they
the Glocks on lock.
The Glocks on the literally, when you know that, you're calling your spiritual team. Like I know it's about to be something up in here.
Yeah.
And also, I'm also a little bit more conscious about what I let in my body. But you guys do
right.
protect yourself because it's a real thing. Mm-hmm. But how would you tell somebody to protect themselves from a spiritual parasite?
So I am the same. I actually do a lot of the stuff that you do. So I have my own little bubble.
Girl, stay
it's like light with gold. I love it. And I'm happy in my bubble.
It's awesome.
And I don't always remember to do it. Like, I don't do it every day. Sometimes, usually I do it if we're, so I was on a road trip recently, so I created a bubble around the vehicle. When I fly, I create a bubble around the airplane.
Oh, I'm so glad you brought that up. Yes. Facts.
I mean,
people on my flights don't even know. Baby, we protected up in here.
I too have selenite above my door. I also do have black tourmaline close to my door. I don't sage unless I feel like there needs to be like a deep cleansing. I mostly Palo Santo. Or I'll just do, use the selenite too, where I'll envision myself energetically being cleansed.
Yeah, I literally wave it around my aura like, go.
Bye-bye.
Bing, bing.
But I think it is, again, just really important for you guys to get into the habit. You will figure out what works best for you. What works for us may be completely different for you, but you want to make sure that when you are stepping out into the world outside of your sacred space.
And honestly,
you're protected.
even it coming into your awareness that you are able to protect you, like I said, once you bring awareness to something, the universe starts to bring more awareness to you, so you will start seeing more and more ways for you to protect yourself. But honestly, think of it like this: if you go into an interview, you walk in with an intention, you're like, okay, I'm ready for this, I'm going to get this job, I'm the perfect person for it. You are basically creating an intention bubble around you that gives an energy that you give off, especially when you believe what you say, especially when you speak about yourself. You always got to believe what you say when you speak about yourself. So it's the same thing. You can literally just say, hey, I am protected as I walk through here. There is no low vibrational energies that can penetrate this. And you know that you got this. Guess what you just did? Protected yourself. Okay, so let's talk about how you can attract a spiritual parasite, Miss Christie.
Yeah. So this is interesting. And I don't think people who do attract spiritual parasites do it intentionally, although some people do welcome it. But I think sometimes they're just extra open. I don't think they realize they're just very open. And honestly, there are entities that are attracted to that, where they see light in you, where they see like a little bit of something,
I've had healers tell me before, even though we healers, we do. It's so funny because I actually heal healers. So almost everybody is a healer, or they have some type of power. But you guys, oh my goodness, what were you just saying about the? I hate what my brain just left. Ping. Healing spiritual parasites. A lot of people don't necessarily know. So like you're saying, they don't necessarily know that they're attracted, especially if you have a big light.
Right.
So people who are here to spread light, a lot of spiritual parasites are attracted to them because they want to shut that down.
Yes.
So in your process, the more aware you become of who you are, you just out here petals popping, the sun is beaming out your motherfucking chest. The spiritual parasites, they like, oh no, come on, it's an army coming for you.
Yeah.
So they are definitely attracted to light. But the good thing about it is when you know how to protect yourself, you're like,
be gone. Because honestly, it is that simple. Like, you don't have to have like this entire recipe. If there is an energy that you sense that's coming in and it does not belong there, it does not belong to you, and you want it to go, you say, you are not welcome here, you need to go now.
And I think, so I will say this, there are rituals that people can do, and I think it depends on how deep rooted this spiritual parasite is in you. But I would say if your spiritual energy is clean and something comes to you, you immediately feel there's something around here that don't belong with me. Our energies don't match, and you can say, and because even after I do services and reading, when we're clearing people out, this stuff, I always say, I detach from this energy now, because it's just like, okay, now it's so funny. I literally just felt the feeling every time I do that. It's just like, and it goes away, and just me saying in my body, so like I know what I'm talking about, like it just goes away. So you guys. There's layers to it, but I would say follow your nudges. If it feels not right, it's not fucking right. Don't talk yourself out of what your higher self and what your intuition told you.
Yeah. So how else do you think you can attract a
I would say
spiritual parasite?
I want to talk about abuse. And so oftentimes those who have been abused
Are the parasites?
no, those who have been abused become abusers. So I think especially sexual abusers, a lot of people when we find it's just one after the other after the other after the other. To me, when I think about a spiritual parasite and it's a little spawn, that is the perfect example to me. Because there is somebody who has a spiritual parasite that is so deep rooted in them, in their body, that it has taken over their will and desire, which makes, so I think, a lot of these pedophiles, they definitely got spiritual parasites, aka demons, who have taken over their body. And you will even, and when you like even see, or some of these people that talk to, or just see interviews, there's a piece of them that knows that what they're doing is right. They just don't know how to make it stop. Like, they'll literally just be like, I know it's not right. I don't know how to. That's a spiritual parasite. Yeah. So then what happens? They abuse somebody, right? And then, don't even get me talking about this whole thing with the priest thing. Okay, anyway, spiritual parasites. Anyway, they abuse somebody. So that's spiritual parasites, and it has taken over your will. Now its spawn is attaching into this person. And so what happens when these spiritual parasites, it's like they sit there and they wait. And they lay and they wait. When we don't take care of ourselves and we don't heal ourselves and we don't go through, this trauma healing, it grows and it grows and it grows until what it has done is the same thing it did to your abuser, is take over your will and your desire, and now you are an abuser. And there's a part of you that's like, how am I beating my children like this when I was beaten like this? Is an example of how spiritual play out in our life day to day. This is when you need a soul retrieval, a soul clean. You guys, I'm so serious about this. So I don't know that outside. I know that spiritual parasites are attracted to light.
Yep.
And I don't know that people who are abused, there's something there. I think, especially when children are abused, you gotta think about how many children are abused and people don't even know. Right. It's because we're closest to God when we're children. So if I want to kill the God in you, or the knowledge that the God exists in you,
get them right at the root.
That's where you get them. And it's so sickening and deadening. But you guys, that's people are not necessarily made. That is spiritual. There's a whole thing. That's the thing. I mean, I could go down a rabbit hole on that, but understand that's what it is.
That is so good. So another way, I think. I mean, you mind if I kind of talk about? Okay. And I'm going to make sure to not, won't say names or anything. But we went to this spiritual retreat, and this woman had an entity.
A spiritual parasite, definitely.
But I think in that situation, she opened herself to receive it because she was curious. Yes. And she didn't know better. Ooh. And
let's get into that, Christie.
And like when people are on their spiritual journey, they're like, "Ooh, I want to be all powerful and all knowing." Yes. And give it to me. And they don't really understand.
That's a good one.
Like there's this ego tripping.
It's so interesting. This is why, because I've asked this question in spirit before. How is it that pastors, priests, preachers, all these people who are of God, supposedly, where they end up being abusers and lying and manipulators, all these things that are not necessarily, of the teachings that they teach. I'm being tactful. I'm being very tactful. I'm proud of myself. You go, girl. But so remember we just talked about how. Now, I do believe there are some of these people who come in like that. That's just how they are. But I honestly believe, and when I had my conversation with Spirit, and I had this because I really like stuff like this. When I have questions like this, I go straight to Spirit.
Asks deep questions.
Hey, y'all, quick question. It's never quick. But most of the people in those roles don't come in that place. They are truly there because they honestly believe, or where they are in their journey, that this is the way to get to God, and they truly believe that that's what they are part of. We talked about spiritual parasites being attracted to light, especially light that has a platform. Because now, if you think about it, if I attack a celebrity or someone who has a platform, especially if their platform is of God, I take over their will and their desire where it's going, then now I have a fucking microphone for my low vibrational energy.
Ooh, I just got chills.
Yeah, real talk. So, and people try to be like, oh my God, this celebrity is Illuminati. There are some celebrities who definitely have spiritual parasites in them, but there are a lot of celebrities. If you fucking listen to the lyrics and some of these people, there are some celebrities, rappers, musicians out there who are straight telling y'all that they realize it's a spiritual warfare going on and they're not for the taking.
Right.
Like, seriously, pay attention to the music, y'all. I'm telling, man, for real. Kendrick Lamar straight told us everything he say come from an angel. Listen to what these people are. Kendrick Lamar. I'm like, Kendrick Lamar basically just told us that all his music is channeled. Gotcha. We hear you, boo. I mean, Erykah Badu, even
Janae
people,
Aiko,
oh my God, I love me some Janae. But there are people out there who, and this is the thing that I love when people like this are so pure in their art. They will even take you to the places when they know they have spiritual parasites in them and tell you, this is what would happen to me in music and in song. But they're really giving us, if we're listening and open, a guide to get past, connect with spirit, know who you are. It's just that we all serve in some type of way. Some people it's through song.
Yep.
And there are those who we've seen, they came in pure of heart, pure of light, pure of energy, high vibrational, and everything just freaking changed.
Yes.
I
know you guys have seen it.
We've seen it 100 gazillion times, and so we're like, the limelight got them. Oh, this happens all the time with politicians. No, it's not the limelight, bitch. That's a spiritual parasite that got on them. And how do they get it? Because you allow yourself. It's something about this space where when you start allowing yourself to be described and told what you are by something outside of you. Yeah. So if you want to make it in the industry, they say, shh. Sorry. Christie's little puppy baby, Brantley.
Brantley, come here.
We say words like the industry. Well, the industry says this. Think about this. Whenever you have something that's telling you what to do, but it's not connected to a person, it's the industry, the company. So the industry says in order for you to be successful, you have to look like this. The industry says this. And then, so now we're just trying to be successful and spread the word, these artists. Like, no, I have something to say. And then all of a sudden you start playing to the industry as opposed to what you came up there for.
Yep.
Spiritual parasite. So we get it through money. We get it through the people, the energy that we're allowed to come in through sexually, through drugs, drinking, whatever it is. But when you clean your soul, when you have energy healings, and this is stuff that Christy and I deal with our clients, helping them to be able to actually feel who they are in this world, it makes you able to feel like something's not right with me.
Yeah.
Get this up off me.
Yeah. Because we were having a conversation earlier, and I was like, I've been feeling a little off. So I had a session on Sunday because I don't trust everyone to work on me. So do not be afraid to ask. It's like, look, can you hook me up?
For real.
All right. So if a person asks this question, so what can I do to protect myself from a spiritual parasite? What would you suggest?
Well, like I said, I think that we need to be intentional with our lives. It's like you walk into anything where you want, think of it like this, any situation where you want to introduce yourself to somebody, you're interested in them, you walk up to them, you have an intention and an outcome. So when we walk through life, what is your intention? So protect yourself. My intention is to attract low vibrational and love and light towards me. So I'm going to give it out as much as I possibly can. When we walk through life thinking that the world is so freaking terrible and everybody's terrible and all these things, that's what we do. We attract all that terrible shit to us. So I think one way to protect yourself is basically to stay above the fray. Now, if you're in the fray now, how do you protect yourself? Remember, as you speak, you create. You speak an intention of protection over you with divine energy. And whatever that divine source is for you, whether that's an Archangel Michael, whether that's Jesus, whether that is Buddha, whether that is Oshun, whoever it is that connects with you, Sorceress Bridget, Morgan Love, all these people, you guys, calling that protection of energy around you to create it with you. Again, because it's never about giving up your entire divine creative power and saying, oh, protect me, I can't. It's like, help me we work together to co-create the life that I desire with your spiritual team until you get strong enough to do it all your own.
But yeah, no, I agree. Just what you said, living intentionally, I think that's huge. And understanding that there is more outside of us beyond what we're able to see. And I think a lot of times we get so caught up in this 3D world that we forget the spiritual side to us, and we're just open and just.
But that's the whole point, to forget. Yeah. You know what I mean? That is the purpose. That is like it's serious. I love this little. Have you ever heard this little legend? I think it's I don't know what religion to assign it to, so I apologize. I'm sure somebody knows that Archangel Gabriel is the angel that, as we are passing through into this life, that he is the one who pushes us right here. So that's why we have this little indentation.
Oh, I heard about that.
Like, and that makes you forget. So that you can go onto the journey. It makes you forget that you're a God, so that you can go onto this journey to prepare yourself with like what you're supposed to be once you come into your godliness. And I was like, oh my God, that's so cute. So whatever entity it is that you believe in that is comforting to you, whatever connects with your culture, if you are not in a place where you're like, I got this, I build my own protection around me, call on that energy to help show me how to do this. And just and know that you are protected. Yeah, let me tell you something. This is something simple and easy and like I just looked up. I told Christy, I just looked up my city of Chicago. These parking ticket situations, it's ridiculous. I was like, oh, let me go see if I have any, parking tickets or whatever. For an entire year, my car has been on the city of Chicago's boot list. I had no idea. Every time I get out my car, I go. It's no place I don't go, y'all. Because I had tickets from 2019. Didn't I know? COVID messed me up. I don't recall. Anyway, the point is, for over a year, actually, it's been on the boot list. I park on the streets, but every time I leave my car, I'm like, hey, Archangel Michael, you got me? You make sure some of your boys, I need some of my homies protecting my car.
You got me doing that.
When I tell
you. It works!
I'm like, there's no... Cause
it works.
It works.
It works.
And I'm like, that's something like small.
It works.
So, I went on, I was like, oh shoot, I need to pay these tickets. I had to take care of that. Now I can park on the street. But I was laughing my ass off because I'm like, y'all, I would have been down at the pound at the bottom of Randolph and Gotham City, Lower Wacker, trying to get my car. But I protected my car. So it's just simple things like that. And because when I say, Michael, you got me, I know that he got me. All right? You know what I'm saying. And then some. Okay, so let's see.
So what types
of type of spiritual parasite? I don't know, Christy.
Are there different types?
I would, of course. Well, it depends on how you're categorizing them. I would say that there are spiritual parasites that you can get attached to you energetically. I think there's spiritual parasites that attach to you.
444.
Hey, that attach to you through something physical.
Yeah.
And also, if you want to categorize this in terms of what do they do, like some spiritual parasites can make you physically ill.
This is true.
Emotionally ill. You can certain things like headaches that come out of nowhere. Yes. Eyesight changing, almost, just like what is going on with my eyeballs? Can't see. Your hearing, like things that are just happen, like these kind of like overnight things that are making it hard for you to see and hear and engage in the life that you live in. Consider that might be something less physical, but something spiritually so.
Yeah.
And also, mentally. Like, I was trying to say that, anytime we're feeling depressed, that it's about, that it's a spiritual parasite. But be cognizant of, and again, all you got to do is put the intention out there. Like, hey, I want to know what I do in my life that affects me in each way.
It's that simple.
I'm telling you,
just ask.
It's amazing. Like, the example that I gave about the Harold chicken is very small potatoes. When I say being around people and I'm like, I don't like how this feels, where I didn't know that when I set that intention out there and opened myself to it, that's not what I thought that was going to come. It's like, oh shoot, oh, what am I doing with this now? So be prepared for
Yeah.
it. But I think that spiritual parasites, at the end of the day, it is a takeover. It is feeding off of you for a reason. And when I think of demons, I think demons are beings that do the biddings of others. So a spiritual parasite almost turns you into a demon because you are no longer doing the bidding of your own free will.
Yeah.
You're
not
doing
the bidding of the demon.
Ding, ding, ding. But what you think?
Yeah, I mean, I've never really thought about whether or not there's different ones out there. I just know that they are out there and that it's important to protect myself. So for me, that's more of what's important.
Facts.
Because shit is out there. And I mean, I'm very sensitive. And there was one time I was driving on Lakeshore Drive heading south, and I saw an entity in a car, and it did not make me feel good, and it freaked me out for like some time. And I'm usually like, I can be freaked out, but it took me some time.
Really?
Yeah, it did. It took me some time. I was like, oh my, because it had been a while since I had come face to face with that type of entity, and then bam, then that retreat happened. All right, so questions like, well, how do I know if I am a host to a spiritual parasite?
I'm gonna tell you something. That's okay. So
sometimes you just feel off.
I would say this. Hindsight. When I look back on parts of my life and decisions that I made at certain times in my life, in this space, I can look back and be like, oh, I was definitely controlling parts of my free will. I don't think that I've ever been where it's completely taken over, but I definitely, when I look at certain decisions I made, I'm like, how? And it doesn't even match with the spiritual energy of who I am in any way, shape, or form.
No,
I'm like, that was, and I can, if I'm honest with myself, I can definitely even pinpoint around what era, what time, who I was around, what was happening in my life during that time that I allowed that energy in. And I think sometimes when you're in it, it's difficult to see it.
Absolutely.
But however,
like
there's this
relationship.
Right. Ooh, cheers. In relationships, y'all, but I would say this. You know when you're in, because if you are even asking the question, wait, am I the demon in this situation? You are. If you are, I shouldn't say you are. I should say you're awakening to something that you need to pay attention to. Because I don't want to be flippant. I was being funny, but no, I don't want to be flippant because y'all might take that seriously. So let me just say, there's something inside of you that is saying like, wait a minute, hold on. Let me pay attention. There's something that doesn't feel right. We talk about this, that intuition, when you know, and you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just that. And whenever we try to assign, how do I know? That's when we start back talking ourselves out of shit we know. You know. Stop doing that. You know.
All the time. It's like,
it just comes in. You like, and you're like, well, I mean, you know what? I haven't eaten since breakfast. It is like 7:00. I'm probably tripping. You know what? Let me stop. Let me hit my L and relax. Like
you know
what's going on. And especially if something comes back to you over and over and over again, your energy tells you. Your energy does not lie to you. And when it's trying, if your energy could pick your hand up and smack you across your damn face,
oh yeah,
it would. But it's doing that in a way that's like, pay attention. Pay attention to this. So if you know, think that there has anybody over the age of 25. I wouldn't really give us a 25. Honestly, I'd be like, shit, 16. You've been in contact with a spiritual parasite in some way, shape, or form.
I believe it.
And so I definitely think they range in level of intensity. But you've been in touch with them. You can look back on your life and be like, okay, I don't know who that heifer was, but ooh, child.
Yeah, so I had a friend, so we knew each other. We danced together. And, we were cool, but I started to, and I guess it also is...
Alvin Ailey.
Yep, it requires you to
Every time you say dance, I'm like, they're going to know.
It requires you to be very in tune with yourself and with the energy that you have and that is around you. And I developed this friendship with this woman, and I noticed that every time we talked, I just felt like... drained. You know, and then every time she would call, it was like, ooh, one of those numbers where it's like, okay,
you gotta
I'm
take a deep breath before you like.
I wouldn't even answer it. I'm like, okay, that's gonna go into voicemail. She can text me if it's an emergency. If it's an emergency, I will be there. But yeah, I felt drained. So yeah, start thinking about the circle of people that you are around. Do they energize you or do they drain you?
I definitely have had in my life people where when their number comes up, you just like when I say like that deep breath, like, here we go. What the fuck? I have to literally make a decision. Do I have the energy for this right now? And it's so, and this is why I think it's important that you brought this up, because those are one of the things that is so easy for us to talk ourselves out. Like, right. Dude, if you feel like that, motherfucker, what are we doing? Why?
It took me years.
But when you look back on it, it's like, are you freaking kidding me?
It took me years to really understand.
So long to even begin to look at it as something's wrong with that. That's just a part of life. It's just like, you have those people in your life who just drain the fuck out of you and that annoy the shit out of you. And that's exactly what we would think. But it's like, no, these are all decisions that you're making. So that's that sneaky shit that just gets into your system. You could be having a good day. Everything is fine. And this motherfucker called, and it's like, where in the world are you walking around that everybody shits on your head on a daily motherfucking basis? Because, and now you have walked in the house skipping, and now you looking outside like, look at these raggedy motherfuckers around the world. I hate everybody. And it don't even belong to you.
Right.
But something like that, it doesn't get into you as deep. But I think when the parasites are deep rooted in you, I think that when it comes with something that is deeply feeling and emotional for you, so oftentimes through sex.
And so I will say especially the
religion,
abuse.
Anything that is deep rooted in touching and feeling, where you like allow it to teach deep within you, like a conversation. You take a shower, or you be like, wait a minute, hold on, I'm tripping. I just had some night, let it go. But something where it's in you, that's a little bit more work.
But I will say, with the abuse from my first marriage, that was huge. Like, I was not myself at all. At all.
And you know what's so interesting about? I think that physical abuse is one thing, and then this is totally my opinion, but I think there is something about emotional and spiritual abuse that is some fucked up shit.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like, yes. I used to say this, even as a kid, I knew there was something to it. You know how your parents would be like, well, what do you want your punishment to be? We can sit up here and lecture you, blah, blah. I would be like, give me a spanking. Because in my head, I had done the math. That's 10 minutes max. Because, you're not in shape like that. Like, you're about to be tired. So, really, good 3 minutes, this is about to hurt. I can take 180 seconds. Like, this is like as a kid. Like, let's get this over with. But that long-lasting bit by bit.
Ripping you down.
And it's so sneaky and nasty and dirty because you don't... Day by day, you can't see it. Somebody just hit you upside your head. You know what I mean? And like, you're a terrible person. Blah 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 blah. It's like something's weird about this. But when they sneak it up on you day by day, then they tear you down, and then by the time they go upside your damn head, you don't even know who the hell you are.
You're
anymore.
Like, thank you.
Yes, you love me. You're like that type of that's deep fucking shit because deep. It fucks with who you are and how you see yourself as a person.
It does.
So
absolutely.
That type of, so by the time you hit the pinnacle moment, that spiritual parasite that's been living in this motherfucker, taking up all type of good, and they in there in a luxury apartment duplex in the sky, and your abuser. And by the time you realize something's going on, that spiritual parasite is in like, well, this is who we are.
Right.
This is what we do. And there's always a little piece of you that's like, really? But wait, I remember I used to laugh a lot. I used to feel like this. There's something like
girl, when I tell you. I
forgot how to laugh.
Oh, I did.
A long time.
Actually, I was told.
I'm a loud.
She is a laugher.
I laugh like loud as
she is a
laugher.
laugher.
There was a time where I was like, I haven't laughed in months. parasites.
But I remember being told, like, you need to simmer down while we are out with my boys because you're doing too much. I was like, really?
What do you mean by that? What do you mean I'm doing?
Because I was like, because in my other life, I swear I was a comedian, like, for real.
Oh, girl, what
like,
you talking about? I'm a comedian right now. Y'all don't even know. I be having shows.
So I really enjoy making people laugh. I enjoy acting a fool.
Amazing.
It is laughter adds life. I say. So he didn't like that because I guess he felt like it brought attention to me.
His spiritual parasite didn't like that.
He's a narcissist. Yeah. But anyway, so another thing is, and again, this goes back to making boundaries. You have to, when people know that they can take more from you, they're going to take. And I don't think it's always intentional. But sometimes people are like, oh, okay, she's giving it. All right, I'm going to take it.
Okay, so this, I would say this, I remember this used to bother me when people would say, people only do what you allow them to do. People used to say that statement. It would bother the hell out of me because if you're in the middle of dealing with a freaking asshole or an abuser and somebody's like, oh, people only do what you allow them to do as if it's your fault, that makes you feel like a victim again because then it's like, how am I allowing this person to treat me like shit? It used to really hurt me. But because I felt like, you didn't have any support there because people look at you like, well, that's what you're allowing. But let me give you a different way to look at that. One, when the grandmamas told us, you guys, I'm talking about my people who had real old grandmothers who have been living a nice little time. And they said, when people show you who they are, believe them. Yeah. That's a real thing. What happens is sometimes when we believe that we are in love, but really we just have formed an attachment. There's a difference between love and an attachment. That's a word. We not even talk about that because that's a real thing. When we see what we see, we make excuses for that behavior and we don't believe it because you're like, I'm good. There's no way that the person that I love, actually I'm lying. There's no way that the person that I love, that I have formed this attachment to is this type of person. So something must be going on. And then what we start to do is, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. When we make ourselves see somebody as who we want them to be, anything that they do, we will make that action that is completely opposite of who we believe them to be, and they're showing us who they are, we will somehow legitimize and justify that action, that behavior, that thought, whatever it is they did, as like, oh, well, they must be having a bad day. And it's like everybody has bad days, and then we start justifying other people's shit. Just take it for what it is. It happens like that. Well, let them hold themselves accountable. Let them come and say, you know what, I was having a bad day. But we give people excuses, and those little type of things are look, I'm like, those little itty bitty type of things. So when you see it, trust yourself. I feel like everything has been about trusting yourself. Protect yourself. What you think?
I think also when you get to a point where you feel off, something's not right. You might want to, get yourself checked out or have like an energy session or something.
Call me and Christy.
Yeah, call us.
We'll do a little reading, a little energy session, a little healing, a little pink, to get those petals popping. Pink, pink. Oh, sorry, y'all. I need help. I'm here on Wednesdays, guys.
But I will say that, how to detach yourself from spiritual parasites, honestly, and this is, again, a very simple concept. When you are no longer making yourself a feeding host, the parasite will have to find either a new host or they're going to die. And in most cases, they're not going to die, so they're just going to find something else.
That's true.
Ooh, let's see what's happening over here.
But so this is okay. Let me just hit on this. I swear this is what, you guys. This is something that a lot of healers do, right? So we detach the spiritual parasite. We talk to it. See, this is the different stuff. Oftentimes what happens is you pull something energetically or spiritually out of a person, and then you just release it, and it goes off someplace, and that thing goes and attaches to somebody else. As a healer, I feel like it is my job when I pull this out that we need to have a conversation. What you doing? When you're a healer, you have we've been allowed to show and share our ability to transmute energy. So I'm just not about to let this thing just out and go attach to somebody else. I might jump on my cat or my child. We're going to transmute this. We need to talk about this because every spiritual parasite comes from something, and they got there for a reason. So oftentimes, guys, just with people and in energy, sometimes we just want to be seen.
Yep.
Just we want to know that we matter, that somebody loves us, that somebody cares enough to say, wait a minute, hold on, you good? You good? Come on. And time, and so people are saying, that's why we have this saying, like, time is, the most important thing you give somebody. It's not really time, it's energy.
Yep.
If I give you my energy, do you understand what I'm
the
giving
minute you take that away, woo, child.
Baby. You get motherfucking freeze.
Man, then you wonder why you got 60 missed messages.
So it's really your energy. Mm-hmm. So when you don't give it anymore, that's oof.
Because people will feed off of that.
Absolutely.
You're giving them all this energy. It's like, ooh, yes.
But let me tell you something. Just this is why healers now, in our day, when we do work, we get paid. It's an energy exchange because money is energy.
Can we say that again?
It's a healing. It's an energy exchange, and money is energy. So back in the day, the healer, was healing everybody in their village, in their community, and so they, their land was farmed, or some, people made sure they got paid in food and sustenance, and
there is an exchange.
And there is always an energy exchange. So when this spiritual parasite is, they understand there is an exchange, because there are points in this exchange where you're like, hold on, I just whole fucking clown. I mean, like. Whoo! You know how you say, like, I jumped out my body. Y'all, listen to the things that we say to ourselves about ourselves. We know exactly what the hell we talking about. Yeah. I have literally said this to myself, like, I whole jumped out my body. I mean, like, that was, woo, child. But because sometimes it's hard to see ourselves, instead of being like, wait a minute, what's that about? We're like, well, fuck it, they deserved it. Shit. I told these motherfuckers stop fucking with me.
I said what I said.
I said stop messing with me.
And I meant what I said.
And I mean, just like, don't be mad at me because my fight was bigger than yours. But we just like, but hold on, that kind of was. And it's not about that person. It's about okay. So now, do I feel more in tune with who I am now that I have whole ass clowned? No. I mean, I might feel a little bit better because I know somebody else is damaged about it. But then when you really get a little bit further along, you be like, damn, I got out here people I damaged. Like, dude, that's not a good feeling. Yeah. So as healers, I think it's our responsibility, and we take this energy out to transmute it and to free it, just like we're freeing the person who's hosting that. That's just my little soapbox. Okay.
Yeah. And I think, and this is, I would say this is an area that I have fallen into. Not everyone needs to be helped. So just naturally, I am a helper. Like, I see a problem or I see something and I want to fix it. But that also opens me up to shit that doesn't necessarily belong to me. Like, I'm taking on other people's shit. Like, why am I upset? Why am I angry?
I'm going to tell you, I think one of the most destructive behaviors I ever had was being a fixer in a relationship. Yeah. I had... Oh, my goodness, you guys. Who the fuck do you think you are? Like, what? Like, and I thought it was a badge of honor that was my job. Like, everyone does not necessarily need or want it to be helped. Right. And that's why I think I love, in terms of where we are in this space, it's like, we're not going out saying, hey, you suck, you need to be helped. Like, when people come, and this is the message from Spirit that I received a long time ago. If people take a half a step towards you, meet them. Yeah. The way that my spirituality is set up, I'm not about to beat down your door. Y'all not gonna see me on Instagram talking about how everybody's stupid and blind. They don't know what the fuck going on. That's not who I am. I will meet you at the door. If I hear you walking up my walkway, I'm opening the door. And I got you. We gonna go on this ride together. But that is not down talking those people who will get on and be like, y'all ain't shit, y'all stupid, wake the fuck up, because there are people in this world who need that. They're like, that wakes them up. Mm-hmm. And so that's why you have so many different type of healers and energies, and because whatever connects with you is what's going to help you get further along. That's not my energy.
Yep, I agree with that.
But sometimes that means you gotta let shit go. Like, you can see it. Like, if you just.
Oh, I let a lot of shit go.
If you just turn around, I could get.
Like it's not
it is what it is.
Yeah.
So, which takes us to get comfortable with minding your own motherfucking business.
Life is, I mean, when I tell
Baby,
you life is peaceful.
When you mind your business.
And you're not up in other people's business.
It's something, because let me tell you something. A lot of the angst and anxiety that we feel about stuff is being in other people's business. Mm-hmm. Like when I say deep in people's business, but I'm going to tell you why we do that. Y'all know why we do this. Because sometimes our business is too hard. It's so much easier to be spiritually lazy and not take care of our own shit, even though it honestly would take less energy and also will help us better. But it's so much easier to be like, let me turn on one of these reality TV shows and get up all up in these motherfuckers' business. So this is just like Derek Jackson. Oh, child. Ooh,
how he was so quick to talk about
Betty.
I mean, on Wednesdays I do wear petty panties or none,
right?
But no, I mean, it was for real. Like, he was saying, well, this is what we shouldn't. But he is living a completely,
totally different
life
person.
That's contrary to what he's preaching.
Come on. Facts.
Man.
But I mean, I was saying, okay, so again, let me temper this because I got to speak to every age level group and generation. Let me temper this. There's a difference between, I don't give a fuck about what nobody else got going on, and let me stay out of other people's business. Y'all know it's a difference. Stop playing with me. We're grown-ups, okay? So there's a difference between not giving a fuck about what's happening in the world and other people. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is do not insert yourself into other people's business to the point where you aren't paying attention to yourself. That's just a distraction. Gossip is a spiritual parasite, y'all. For real. And honestly, if you think about it, anything that makes you falsely feel better about yourself ain't shit. If it's like, if you have to look at somebody else and be like, well, at least I'm better than them, that's a distraction, that's a falsehood, and that's taking you away from really doing the work to make you better and be the person you're really supposed to be. Don't get mad at me. I'm just giving y'all what they said.
Don't shoot the messenger. Also, I mean, actually, this ties in with getting comfortable with money and business. Just move your attention to something else. Again, if you take your energy away, it dies. So just take your energy away. Otherwise, you're feeding it and giving it power. So I hope it all makes sense.
And it gives you an opportunity. Think about, for real, this is real talk. You watch a reality show, and you either love or hate somebody. Whoever it is that you love and hate on that show, you go onto their social media page, you follow them, you see one of their aunties tagged, and you follow the auntie, and then the auntie's dog has its own IG page, and then that dog has a dog owner friend, and then you go to that friend, and that happens to be your cousin. You all so neck deep in somebody else's business.
Yeah.
And like all that time researching. I mean, we want, and this thing, it's for naught, because what you gonna do with the damn information? Just know. Just think about if you put that time in yourself, what you would know about yourself, or how to move yourself forward. Don't be mad.
I ask all the time. I'm like, well, why does it make a difference whether or not I know him? Like, why?
Like, what's gonna happen?
Like with Will and Jada.
Girl.
I'm like, okay, and like, how is
everybody?
That doing?
And this is the thing.
It's not affecting me.
And again, we're human. We all like a little teeth. What we're trying to impart on you guys is, don't make decisions about your life to ignore you so you can be somebody else's shit. When you got your shit together, girl, go have you a good sniggle and a giggle. Shit. But you out here snagging talking shit. Fuck out of here.
Ooh. Well, goddamn. All right, so what is the takeaway for today? What's your takeaway?
You got it, Christy. I'm done. I'm not talking no more.
Honestly, got me over here. The takeaway is you just have to be reminded on a daily basis. And I've said this before. We are spiritual beings living a human existence.
Oh, I'm so glad you said that. Yes,
and we have to just remember that there's more to us than just this physical body. I think we forget. Well, not I think. We forget. We do forget. So just remember, there's more than meets the eye.
Speaking of forget, Y'all, because you know I keep it real. I whole forget about the simple work. I just looked at that like, oh shit. Oops. Y'all, we don't have no homework this week, guys. I'm the best teacher ever. Y'all, it's been a rough week for me. When I say I'm over here having my own Phoenix rising moment, Chris and I talked about this earlier. I was on the phone with her. I'm like, girl, I need some energy work. I'm over here going, I'm detoxing. But
the
I know
stuff we talk about, we know.
I'm so glad you said, y'all, the stuff that we talk about, like, we're living this. This is not, we not out here just, like, reciting academia. Motherfucker, we in this.
Man.
But,
in this mug.
So I was just telling her, like, I'm not feeling good. And, we started talking about, she's like, you know, I just saw, you know, the butterfly in the cocoon. And we kind of talking about that. She said, I just think that's kind of where you are. And I was like, that's interesting. I keep picturing myself as a butterfly with half a wing out. And I was like, you know, when they talk about that process when they're breaking out of that cocoon, now, you know, after that transformation, that essential death, and they're coming back out of that womb, that process is tiring. It's exhausting. Everybody doesn't make it.
Yeah.
And if someone, and this back to what we just talked about, if someone goes over to that thing and opens the cocoon up and helps that butterfly won't make it. It'll die because the process of opening that cocoon makes their wings strong.
Yep.
So they can fly into the wind and make the journeys that they need to do. But if you go open it up, that butterfly has not prepared itself for its life. So we going in here thinking we helping people, telling them what they need to do, and, you know, trying to fix people. Let that motherfucker get their wings together. But let's be clear, you don't necessarily have to get your wings together on my back.
Right.
That's your lesson in your life. I got to get my wings together on my own, and we will have several butterfly moments in our life, so to speak. So I'll say all that to say is, I'm in my cocoon right now. I got half a wing out, and I had to take a break. I'm over here breathing like, Lord, hold on, just wait. I got a half a wing out, y'all. Yeah. Don't touch my cocoon, y'all. I'm gonna do it. I promise you. Just give me a minute. I need a couple minutes.
Yeah, just know that we are all still going through our own stuff. It's just one of those things. It never stops. It never ends.
And some parts of the journey are so motherfucking beautiful.
Right.
It'll bring tears to your eyes. Other parts of the journey are so goddamn painful. It'll bring tears to your eyes.
Yeah.
If you like me, I stay crying. Happy, sad, good, up, down, side. It's just...
It's called love leaks. You're
You know
leaking
what?
love.
And I will say this, though. We should talk about this one day. If you really... This is why why we should always work to heal ourselves. Because tears are, like, the best example how feelings can become physical in our body. That's like... That because I'm not just going to tear because I'm just sitting here. There's a feeling that I have that is going to evoke a tear in my eye.
Yeah.
So what happens when we don't address these things? Cancer.
Yep.
Heart problems, breathing problems. Because this is like, do you understand how fucking beautiful our bodies are? And it tells us what the hell. Like, don't ignore none of this shit. It's telling you something about what's going on in your body. This ain't that hard. But what we do is all these numbing agents, all these growth hormones we put in our food. Numbing agent, spiritual parasite. Stop playing with me. Okay, y'all. What's the crystal, Christie? Crystal Christie.
Today's crystal is white, precious opal.
It's the pretty one, too.
Let me just
pull it out the bra.
Let me just go into my bosom to pull out the crystal. Oh, it's so pretty. Okay, so white precious opal, it will bring to the surface one of one's consciousness whatever emotional patterns need to be cleared. So this includes both positive and negative emotional patterns. However, once the negative patterns surface, you get to acknowledge it as something that either belonged to you or did not belong to you in the beginning. And so I think this is really key, especially when we're talking about spiritual parasites. Working with the white precious opal, it will allow you to see these energies, and you'll be able to kind of look at it from a lens of like, this is mine. This is linked to you know, being a child and being abused by my aunt or something. Or you can look at something and say, okay, that does not belong to me, that needs to go, and just get rid of it. And so white precious opal allows you to see that and witness that. And oftentimes this phase can sometimes create an emotional and intense sensitivity. And so after the initial cleansing period, it can assist you with shifting to a more positive space. So basically, it will get you to deal with the shit, acknowledge it, and then work through it so that you can get on to better. So have you worked with this type of crystal before, Mia?
Yes, I have. First of all,
share your thoughts, please.
Physically, like just looking aesthetically is one of my favorite, just because it's just so pretty to me.
It is.
It reminds me, it's like a milky white with these flecks of rainbow, and it reminds me of, and I'm a Cancer, so you know, it reminds me of the moon. So I do really like that. But I think that it is, for me, it's been when I'm scattered, up, down, you know what I mean? But in a fast pace, not in the normal cycle of life, but like, you know, literally from one moment to the next.
Yeah.
Like I'm fine, I'm not, like opal is, it's something about that. It's almost like if you pour milk into the water, it calms it. And that's what I feel. And I have a dope ass necklace that I bought at a vintage shop in Morocco, made of opal, that's hot to death. It just feels, it's more of a,
it is milky.
It's not, it's calming. It's like, it's just like, it just kind of, it feels good. It's just, you know when if you rub your arm, you're like, oh, my skin feels soft. That's how it feels to me.
I like you in my bosom, so I'm gonna put you back in there.
So I'm gonna put you back in there.
So I haven't, honestly, I haven't worked with white precious opal personally. I think I might have meditated with it once, and it was just really calming. But yeah, you guys might want to check it out.
Okie dokie. So, sorry, I just put.
I'm sorry, we had snacks. So we're over now. We're at an hour and 16 minutes.
Man, you talk so much.
I know I do.
So here's our message for the day, you guys. And I've been talking about this throughout the whole episode, so it's not shocking. It's about trusting yourself. So, trusting your nudges, trusting your intuition, trusting that what you feel, you are feeling. Now, oftentimes, you guys, in this life, and you guys, this is much of the spirit that I've been having like all week with them. Oftentimes in our lives, especially now with new technology, we can't necessarily trust what we see with our physical eyes. But we can trust what we see with our mind's eye, with our third eye. And so Spirit is saying it is time for us to seriously trust ourselves. When we think about just in life, what's happening in our culture, what's happening in our society, all of the institutions that we grew up with. I'm a Gen Xer. Christie's a Gen Xer. These institutions that we grew up with, that if we followed these rules, that this institution would hold up. It was almost like the truths that we held self-evident are all failing us. Those are no longer truths. It's like, you know, those commercials where they say, hey, if you took this drug back in so-and-so and are experiencing this, but back when you told us that was okay, we believed you.
Yep.
And here we are. And that's what's happening to a lot of people spiritually. They're opening themselves to, wait a minute, hold on, I've been cut off from what is me, from what is real. Yep. And now everybody's talking about like, oh, you didn't know? Well, hell no, you motherfuckers didn't tell me. So Spirit is like, look, hold on. Start paying attention to yourself. And when we're talking about trust yourself, especially when we, trust yourselves in relationship, especially under this new moon. We're still, that new moon in Aries was 2-3 days ago. So, we're still a little bit in that new moon energy. It's a fire. Everything about a new moon and Aries is fire. It's new. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. It's a leader. So it's new and then new moon. So it's new cycles for all of us. This is almost like it's our what we perceive as our new year. It's new year for us spiritually and astrologically. For everybody, right? And that new moon in Aries set it off. So now we're about making these resolutions. But you need to trust yourself what is best for you. and for your spirit and for your growth and for your energy, what's going to direct you towards the true desires of your heart, not the desires that someone told you you're supposed to have. Y'all do not fall for the okie doke. We got to stop doing this. So Spirit wants us to truly trust ourselves, because what happens when we trust ourselves, we make good decisions for ourselves. We don't allow other people to tell us what's good for us. Nobody can tell you what's good for your heart, for your life, for your love, for your spirit, for your motherfucking soul, but you. So we got to stop allowing people to tell us that. So Spirit is saying, be good with you and trust yourself, because they need us to be spiritually strong. Whether or not we believe it or not, we are all part of a spiritual warfare. So when we choose, how we choose for us is how we choose our sides. I'm air quoting sides. Whenever you choose, hear me. If there's any entity or being that is asking you to choose for them and their beliefs, and it is different from what you believe is for you, that is not for you. So when you choose to trust you and what works for you and what feels good to you and what resonates with you and feeds your soul and nourishes who the fuck you are, then you are on the side of raising the consciousness and shit. That's what we said at the beginning of every goddamn motherfucking episode. We're here about raising the consciousness, shifting your mind, and people manifesting their life. We are all here for a purpose, a reason, a season, and a lifetime. That's your message for today.
I hope you guys took notes.
Me too, because I don't remember what I said.
In your journals. No, that was good. This was actually... And honestly, these episodes helped me a lot, too. Just in talking things out and sharing.
Girl.
I have people who are going through their quote-unquote spiritual awakening, and they don't know who else to talk to. But, I mean, I'm still talking shit out today. Like, there are still things that I'm just
This is
still
definitely
learning.
Spiritually therapeutic.
It is.
As we teach, we learn.
And validating.
And valid. I feel very purpose-filled.
Yeah. Yep. So
As I
thank
drink
you
this
to everyone who has reached out to us. Actually, we are going to
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so
You wanna talk
glad.
about it?
Yes. You guys. So we get some really great questions.
All are coming through.
We get some really great questions, and people...
Slowly but sure.
So, I mean, I love this, the way that people are coming through, and they're, they hit us on IG. Please hit us on IG at 2 Queens Crystal Things on IG. They introduce themselves, tell us how they found the podcast. As our little community is growing, you guys, y'all, we so appreciative because it's so fun. We're enjoying ourselves. And so we love when you guys hit us and let us know what's going on in your lives, and because that gives us food and fodder to speak about, to continue to, to give everybody what they need, because, like we say, we're in this together. So with that being said, we're starting a new segment where we will, I don't know how often we'll do it. I guess it kind of depends on you guys, but we want you guys. So it's kind of like, we're calling it Ask the Queens. We will, whatever y'all want to talk about, we will have a whole full discussion about
Questions for Queens.
Questions for the Queens. Thank you. I love me some alliteration. Get me together. that girl, get me together. Okay, questions for the Queens. And we'll pick a question, and we will literally get into it in depth. From a spiritual perspective, if we got from a petty perspective, depends on how we feeling that day.
Because we are still a work in progress.
Because we still a work in progress. But we do want to, but we love when you guys reach out to us. Yes. And so when people hit us on IG, we're typing all this stuff out. I'm like, you know what, Chris, we need to just do a little segment like questions for the Queen and talk this out. Because some of these things I know will hit home for other people. So hit us up on IG. Hit us in the DM. If you do not want, this is not a gossip rag. So if you don't want us to, we will not identify you unless you say, girl, it's okay. Because that's not what it's about. This is really about healing and, for the collective, and, letting people know everybody's going through something.
Everybody.
This is remember, you guys, this is a safe space. Okay? And that's what we want this to be. So this is not about outing anybody. We whatever y'all want us to talk about it. And as I told one person today when Christy and I were talking on IG, she said, this deep. We ain't scared. Because we're not.
No, we're not.
So let's do this, y'all. All right.
And don't be ashamed. You guys are slowly...
Questions for the Queens. Come on.
Slowly coming out of the
Come
closet.
out, y'all, for real. I guarantee you, there is nothing that you can say
I
that
know
we're
you guys
gonna be
have
like.
questions because we get them.
Yes. So let us know.
Yeah, let us know. All right, so being mindful of everyone's time, just wanted to say thank you all for listening to Two Queens and Crystal Things as always. And if you guys are following us on Instagram, please go on and complete the little questionnaire I asked, like I posted where all of our listeners are coming from.
Yes.
Let us know where you all are from. I would love to be able to do a shout out because I think it's super
fun.
cool.
You guys, we're having fun.
Yeah.
Everything ain't that serious,
fun.
but it's serious.
No, serious but not serious.
But not serious.
Yes. But yeah, show us some love. Continue to share our episodes, like, subscribe to whichever platform you're listening to our podcast on, and stay tuned for next week.
And also please follow us on our individual IGs.
Oh yeah.
Christy, or Crystal Reiki Healer Queen, at Christie R Edwards, and that's Christy with an IE. Follow her on IG. Oh yes, thank you. I'm so glad. There's a CHRISTIE R Edwards on Instagram, and then you can follow myself.
Wings Unleashed. We talked about butterfly wings, right?
Yes.
Wings Unleashed 444. Follow her page. She is an amazing reader. Akashic record reader. I mean, honestly, I don't even know what to call it. Like, you're just...
I don't even know what to call myself either. I was thinking, I need to do something because people like... I'm like, I use whatever spirit tells me to use at that moment.
I do too.
So I don't know what to tell you, but we about this life, y'all. We're not just talking shit on Wednesday. We about this life.
We love to talk about it. We love to answer questions.
Yes.
If we're able to answer questions, because I know much of the stuff we're still going through ourselves. But...
Amen.
We created this platform to be able to share, and apparently there are a lot of you that are in need of these type of...
Let us know, you guys. Talk to us.
Yeah.
We're not... Talk to us. We answer, y'all. Let us know.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We'll tell you what we talking about next week, Christy.
So next week we are discussing healing from heart trauma after a relationship.
Yeah.
Break up to make up.
That's all we do. Ooh, y'all. You know what's so funny? I'm just gonna share. Paper y'all probably cut off by now good, so you don't hear. But I learned this week. Even when you think you've done it over some shit, if you haven't really cleared out, if you've done things to prevent pain.
Oh, it comes back.
I mean, I'm just like, Spirit Dave was like, oh, you tried it? Foot on my neck.
Like,
so we're going to talk about this.
Yeah,
baby.
You'll think that there are things that you've overcome. Like, I think maybe a week ago I was dealing with, like, my first marriage shit.
You're like, where'd that come from?
I'm like, I know. I'm like, where? Okay, all right, let's deal with it. But yeah, so that's what we're talking about next week. If you guys have questions for us, you know where to find us. You
and
can
let us know, because I know y'all got some breakup questions. Stop playing.
Let us know.
Okay, bye, guys.